Stephen's work, I mean, one of the things about Tintin that I'm always excited about whenever I see the movie in its different stages is that it's a film that Stephen personally shot. I mean, he had the camera in his hand the whole time. And so it was almost like shooting the old 8mm films, wasn't it?
It was the closest experience to, because I had to do, I think, because it was it's like a PlayStation game controller with a 6-inch color monitor in between. And you're all completely up to date about this technology, but you look up and you see actors in motion capture suits in a white basketball court we call the volume. But I would look down into the monitor, and there would be the characters, the actual, in real-time Tintin, not fully animated. Well, that will give you a little sample in a few minutes, but enough that I could actually be in the world of Tintin, getting all of my shots and planning all of my angles.
You said, I saw you quoted maybe almost a year ago saying that this movie made you feel more like a painter than you had ever felt, and that speaks to that sort of the technology distilling the filmmaking process.
It does, because one person can do the lighting, can push the camera, can be the electrician, the dolly grip, can tweak the makeup, the hair. It really is more, it gets, even though there's hundreds of animators that have to animate, 5 hours to animate every single frame of this film, still putting together the story and putting together the actual performance capture, you do a lot of cool jobs at the same time, which I normally do through very, very talented, 15 to 100 to 200, people on our crew. But this is much more of a direct-to-canvas art form, I found.
Steven Spielberg, dolly grip.
Yeah.
So Peter, one of the things that you were talking about Tintin earlier when we were chatting about it was that it means different things to different readers at different ages. That was very interesting. Some of the nuances and layers. Could you talk a bit about that?
Yeah, well, I mean, my experience with Tintin is looking at the books before I could read, really, when I was 5, 6 years old. And then, you look at the pictures, you can follow the stories, because Hergé designed these books often like storyboards. I mean, they're almost like silent movies, although once you do learn to read, you start to realize how anarchic some of the characters are and how exciting the stories are. But I looked at Tintin when I was young as the older brother I never had, and having the adventures that I dreamt of having, but part of me didn't ever want to get shot at or have to get chased by bad guys. So it has that that wonderful escapist quality. But then as you get older and you look at the books as an adult, there's layers of social statement that Hergé was making, because he wrote these books between 1927, 28, and right into the 1980s. And so that's, those decades, a lot happened in the world, and especially in Hergé's life, before World War II, during and then after World War II. And you start to appreciate the world that he was living in, and the satire and the parody that he was putting into, and some serious statements as well. But also you recognise the influences that he was under, because there's definitely a love of Hollywood adventure films in those stories, and there's silent movies, Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin. So when we were making the film, we kind of wanted to make it to try to have the different layers that Hergé had built into it. We haven't tried tonally to do anything different at all than what was in the books.
You guys want to take a look at some Tintin?